Star Trek Discovery regressa pela 7ª vez e estivemos também à conversa com Sonequa Martin Green, a protagonista da série, que nos vai trazer uma nova visão no interior da história da série de Star Trek. Eu continuo aqui no interior mesmo do USS Discovery e enquanto eu ponho aqui tudo a funcionar, vamos continuar com as entrevistas. Hi, Sonequa. How are you?
I'm good. You?
Fine, fantastic. Tell me a bit more about First Officer Michael Burnham and the story behind Star Trek Discovery.
Yes! Well, I, as First Officer Michael Burnham, I'm a difficult person because there's a lot going on. There was a lot of trauma and difficulty in my upbringing. My parents were killed at a young age, and I was sort of placed into Sarah and Amanda's home. And so I was then, experiencing a lot of culture shock and having to assimilate to a completely different culture from my own, and doing it under immense pressure as well. And so there's that, and then there's also the dream of being involved in an organization like Starfleet and actually succeeding in that dream, joining Starfleet. So there's a lot going on because there's a lot of sort of clashing ideologies going on in one mind and in one heart. So this is a woman who is very, very practical but very vulnerable. This is a woman who is very principled but very emotional. Someone who is still questioning who they are. I certainly am still discovering it, and you get to watch that discovery happen.
That's fantastic. And as the series leading character, you bring us a new perspective. It was never focused on...
As first officer,
yes,
right?
That's correct.
Right,
so,
right.
What do you think this is going to bring to the series?
Yeah, well, I think it brings something very new. And I think it's very refreshing in that way because one of my castmates described it as the sort of the upstairs, downstairs type thing that Downton Abbey, for instance, explores, where you've got the sort of downstairs living versus the image of the upstairs living. And so you get to see that in our show. You get to see these people in their quarters. And I mean that both practically and metaphorically speaking. So you get to see the inner struggles that people deal with, that people cover up, that people have to overcome in order to be who they are, in Starfleet, right? And so there's a whole life that happens on the way up to the bridge, right? And so you get to see that.
And how is it to be part of Star Trek?
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's kind of it sort of lives outside of a space where you can verbalize it, right? You can try to describe what it feels like to be a part of something this big, something this important, for a time like this, but it's hard to sort of put it into words because it's that monumental, to say the least.
And how important is it today to have a major franchise such as Star Trek with such diverse cast?
Yes, I think it's more than important. I think it's vital. I think we need it. I truly believe that it will be part of the solution to our troubles and our problems and our divisions. I think that ultimately it's up to us. Ultimately, we have to make the decision to change. And I think we can only make that decision together. And I think that in order to love each other, we have to be in action. I think love is action. And I hope that we can offer at least a semblance of hope for people because they can see an example of it working.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Just to finish, have you ever been to Portugal?
No!
Oh.
I want to go.
Okay, you are invited.
Thank you.
By all the Star Trek fans. And
thank
live
you.
long and prosper.
Yes, thank you. You too.
Thank you so much.
Aww.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
I was going to give you the double kiss.
Oh, let's do it. Yes, very Portuguese.
Thank you.
Yes.